In this video, I'm going to be talking about present active participles in Latin, how to recognise them, how to form them, and how to translate them into English. Because I'm talking about participles, you're going to really need to know your noun endings today. So if you're not sure about any of those, go and download my free noun endings reference guide from the link in the description below. It'll really help you out, just to have to hand. It has all the endings for first, second, and third declension on there. So let's get right to it. What is a participle? Well, it's what's called a verbal adjective. Now that comes as two different parts. The first one being the verbal side. All that means is that it's formed from a verb. The adjective part is far easier. It declines like an adjective. So because a participle is formed from a verb, that means it has a tense, like a verb, and a voice sometimes, so active or passive. In this case, we're going to talk about active verbs. And because it's like an adjective, it has a number, a gender, and a case. Now there are several types of participle. One is the present active participle, which translates as carrying, like the carrying man, or the man carrying the books. The second one is the perfect passive participle, having been carried is how it's translated. The third is the future active participle, about to carry or being about to carry. And the fourth one is unusual, it's for deponent verbs only, and that's a perfect active participle, having spoken. Now I'm going to make videos on all of these, so check out my channel for those, but for today, I'm going to be focused on the present active participle. So here's what you need to know about present active participles. They are formed from the present active infinitive. Now that's your second principal part in your dictionary if you're looking at your verb lists. It matches the noun it's describing in case, number, and gender. That is just like adjectives. In this case, a present active participle, it declines like a third declension noun. So if you're not sure about 3-3 adjectives, go and watch that video now. Masculine and feminine nouns use the same ending for their participles. However, neuter has a separate table of endings. You only have two to have a look at, but you need to know there is a difference. Now, present active participles describe an action taking place at the same time as the main verb. And I'll get into what that means for translating in a little minute. The good thing about present active participles is they're really easy to spot. You either have NS in the nominative or sometimes accusative, singular, or you have an NT before the noun ending. I like to tell people to remember NT because it's like present. That's a really good way to spot it. It just helps to sort of jog your memory. People usually find that quite useful and they quite like present active participles because of it. Doesn't mean they know how to translate them, but it means they can at least spot them. So like I said, I'm going to start with my present active infinitive. That's my portare, to carry. Then I'm going to take off the RE, the bit that makes an infinitive, and I'm left with my present active stem. To this, I'm then going to add these endings. So for my masculine and feminine, I've got NS as my nominative singular, and then all the others have that NT indicator, and then my third adjective endings. So they're nice and easy. They're the ones I'd expect for ingens. Then I have my neuter endings. As you can see, they're quite similar to the masculine-feminine endings, but there are some differences, like the accusative singular being portans again, not portantem, and the nominative and accusative plural being portantia. Again, that's a bit like ingens. So just be careful, go and have a look back at my adjectives videos if you're not sure. Let's have a look at an example. Per villam ambulans puellam vidi. Now to start with, I can recognise immediately that ambulans is my present active participle. What do I know about it? Well, it could be nominative, masculine, feminine, singular. I'm not sure, because it could also be the nominative or accusative neuter singular. How do I rule it out? Well, the first thing I always do is check my verb. Vidi means I saw. Now this is unlikely to be something that's neuter. So I'm going to rule out neuter nominative for now, but could still be neuter accusative. Let's look at my accusatives. I've got villam and puellam. Again, neither of those are neuter, they're both feminine. So I wouldn't be using my neuter ending. So I'm going to just completely remove the option that means it's neuter, which means it's nominative, masculine or feminine. Doesn't really matter what the gender is in this case, because it's just I. I know that it's describing the same person who's doing the seeing. So I saw the something, something, something while walking, or I was walking at the same time. Because it's a present active participle, I also know that it's happening at the same time as the main verb. Now my main verb is vidi, which is in the perfect tense. So I know that this is happening in effectively the past. Because it's a present active participle, it matches the tense of my main verb. So let's have a go at translating it. I've got vidi, I saw. Then I've got puelam. Now that means the girl. I saw the girl. Nice and easy sentence. However, I've still got per willam ambulans. Now I know that ambulans can't be describing the girl. She's not walking anywhere. So it must be describing me because it's nominative. So I could translate this as walking through the house, I saw the girl. That is perfectly fine, full marks. It's a little bit clunky, so you could, if you wanted to, change your translation slightly to be while I was walking through the house, I saw the girl. This is what I mean when I say it has to be happening at the same time. I can use a temporal word like while or as to help me make sure that my reader knows that I know that it is a present active participle. It's happening at the same time as I saw the girl. While I was walking through the house, I saw the girl. Now vidi is my perfect tense here. I saw the girl. In order to get my present active participle to be happening at the same time, I need to use the continuous action in the past. That's also called the imperfect tense. So I can translate my present active participle in the imperfect tense if my main verb is perfect, purely because of something called the sequence of tenses, which I'll get onto in a minute. Don't worry too much about it, just make your translation sound fluent. Again, the first one is absolutely fine. Walking through the house, I saw the girl. That is perfect. Let's talk about the sequence of tenses for present active participles. In terms of main verbs, I have three main categories. I have the pluperfect, perfect, and imperfect. They're what are called my past tenses. Then I have my present tense. That's my present tense. And I have the future and future perfect tenses, which grouped together make up my future tenses. So I literally just have past, present, and future tenses, and some of those are broken down into different subsets of the past or the future. But each of these categories has a different role to play if I have a present active participle. Because my present active participle has to happen at the same time, if I see a past tense, I can then translate my present active participle as an imperfect, like in the previous sentence, while I was walking. If my main verb is present, I translate it as usually ing, just walking. I don't need a past tense or a future tense because my main verb is in the present tense. If I have a future tense for my main verb, then I have to translate my present active participle as a future because it's happening at the same time. So while I will be walking. All it means is that I need to make my present active participle match the tense of my main verb. That's it. It sort of takes it like a little sponge. It has to latch on to the tense of the main verb and change accordingly. Let me show you with some examples. So if I have a present main verb, lacrimantem feminam video, I see the crying woman. Literally, I see the woman who is crying. Present main verb, present participle. If I have a past main verb, lacrimantem feminam vidi, vidi is a perfect tense. So I saw the crying woman. I can just translate like that, that's fine, but literally, I saw the woman who was crying. I've taken a step backwards into the imperfect because my main verb is perfect. Future main verb, then I have lacrimantem feminam videbo, I will see the crying woman, and this is I will see the woman who will be crying. Again, you don't need to do that. You can just say I will see the crying woman, but just in case you're wondering, and as you get a bit further along, you need to know these things for more difficult grammar. So that's really all there is to present active participles. Remember, you need your present active stem, which you get from taking the RE off the infinitive, and then you add the endings, as I've shown here, your 3 adjective endings. If you're still not sure about the third declension endings, do go and download that free noun endings reference guide from the link in the description below. It just has them all laid out nice and neatly, so you can keep it to hand as we carry on with participles. I hope this has been useful to you and you've learned something about present active participles. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on bambasbat.